All right, guys, I have Raj Hundal here. He is the World Pool Champion, and I admire you because I can't play pool for shit. So,
As many people.
yeah, it's like I think it's like geometry, right? Like I obviously failed that.
Well, it's a big, I say more than anything, it's physics, but
Physics. Okay, see,
the strong,
that's why.
it's a strong mixture of science and math. But truth is, it's a tough game, you know. It's like
Yeah.
playing a violin. Not everybody can do it. It's crazy.
No, exactly. And just, I also was fascinated because you being Punjabi as well, we're taught to be doctors, lawyers, this and that. And, being, you call it, you say it's like a professional thing. Like what you're doing is very like artistic, I feel like. So it's different. And I really like, I commend you for that when I was reading your articles and stuff. And I'm like, that's dope.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I can say the same about you. You're a very artistic soul as well. You're out
Well,
there
thank
doing
you.
something that's not the normal. You know, it's
Thank you.
and and I think it's even harder for you being a girl too than me. I'm always going to have more opportunity than you probably had in general. You know, in our background where we come from. But
That's
yeah, you're
true.
right. You're right. I had a lot of people tell me like, "Are you crazy? Play pool? You're supposed to go
Yeah.
and do this and be an accountant and go just do
Hmm.
something which, yeah, no disrespect to me, that stuff's boring. I can't do that. You know, it's
Exactly. I went to school. I tried to do the nursing thing, be a nurse. And I was there. I loved the school part of it, like the learning was fine. But when I was out in the field, I was like, this is not really what I want to do. Yeah, I
oh,
don't know if I'm gonna do this. But I mean, shout out to the nurses. But yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. So you've been doing this since you were 6 years old, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
when
been
your
been
mom
a
was
while.
working at your grandparent, no, your aunt and uncle's
My
restaurant.
Mussy, my
Mussie's.
Mussy restaurant. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, from I think the first time I picked up a cue, I was 6 years old. Little nipper back then.
Yeah, and you were so while basically you couldn't leave you at home, so she was there, and would you be practicing pool? You were practicing. What do you guys call it? I wanted to ask you what that is. Not pool.
Snooker.
Okay, yes. What does that mean? Please tell this American over here.
First thing is you guys normally, I like the accent the way you say snooker. So you never
Snooker,
say,
yeah.
we say like snooker, but the
Snooker.
yeah, so we got that little different, it rolls off the tongue different for us. But
Yeah. It's like
the the
water. We say
the,
water.
yeah. Oh, mate, that is tough. I've been sitting there for hours trying to get an order in America, and the waitress is looking at me like I'm crazy, you know.
She's like, you would
But
like what? You're like, water. And she's like, what?
I'm there forever, you know. But then they're always like, "Oh, are you from London?" And they're happy about that part, but they can't get my order
The
in,
cake
you
is your
know.
order. I love your
Crazy stuff.
accent. I have no idea what you're saying, but
But yeah, so I was 6 years old. I put my graft in a little storage cupboard. To be honest, you know, that's where it started for me. But
Mm,
I figured out at a very young age. Look, I don't come from a heavily privileged, upbringing. I didn't have too much opportunity around me, but
mhm.
the two things I had talent and I had heart. You know, so that's what brought me here. Basically, I'll be honest with you. And I
Yeah.
knew while I was playing pool on that table, well, snooker at the time, I'd realized that I thought, well, this is my ticket. This is my shot out. You know, I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
I could not only change my life, I could change my family's life too. So I said, well, I'm gonna take it with both hands. And see, that's the bit that I think people forget is also within our blood. We're not meant to conform. We're rebels.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
our actual our bloodline is not. We're not to be put in a box and told you have to do this and you have to. No, we're free. And my freedom is on that table, on that 9 foot table. When I play pool, when I'm in that area,
Mm,
I'm like everybody else. I got problems in life. I got things I got
of
to
course.
deal with,
Yeah.
and sometimes it gets a bit much or a bit, a bit overwhelming. So my place of freedom and always will be in between those rails, those that nine
Yeah.
foot area. I'm always king there. You know,
Yeah.
that's how I feel. Not I'm not saying I'm the best player or anything like that, but I feel like
I mean, you
there's
were.
other
Or you
Yeah.
are.
Well, look, there's other kings too that
Of
gonna
course.
feel the same. That when we're on that table,
Hmm.
that's our castle. That's our kingdom,
I
and
feel
that's
that.
that's that's where we're free. So I'll be honest. I get on that table, I forget. I forget I'm a dad. I forget I'm a husband. I forget I've got any responsibility. I'm just enjoying my life at that point. You know.
Yeah, it's like your getaway, your freedom. Like I feel like that when I have a mic in front of me, I just ramble whatever, this is my what do you call it? Your vice kind of, You be whoever
Your
you
outlet.
want.
It's your
Yes,
outlet.
your outlet.
That's
You
it.
can be whoever you want, who you want to be. And then when you turn it off and you turn that mode on, then you're back to reality. So I
Yes.
understand that. Was your dad or your parents, were they really supportive? Like, because like in our community, usually um when you try to take the non-traditional route, it's always like until you prove yourself. But for me, for example, my mom had to come to my apartment to be like, "Oh, you make money from this?" You know? Oh, I'm like, you thought I was just talking my
Just
ass
hanging
off.
out.
Yeah,
Just hanging out.
she literally had to come to my apartment, literally this year, to say she was proud of me because she was like, "Wow, okay, this is working out for you." So I mean,
Listen, I can totally relate. Here's a funny one. Look, when I sat down with my in-laws for the
mhm,
first time ever,
yeah,
um, we'd already been dating like a decade, but then we're going to act like we just met.
of course,
Typical
of
Indian,
course.
all that
Oh,
all that game. So
yeah.
and then I remember my mother-in-law asking me, like, she was dead serious too. And by the way,
Mhm.
I'm lucky enough to have debuted on TV playing live sports when I was 17 years old. So I'd already been doing this quite a while by the
Yeah.
time we'd sat down, and she's watched me play on TV and stuff, like, oh, that's that local kid.
Hmm.
So she even asked me, she goes, well, what are you gonna do then when you stop playing pool? And I was like, retire. I mean,
Yeah.
but our people don't think this, that you can do, like, this is a job. That no one believes that this is your job and this is my
No,
job. No one believes it.
it's
It's
just
crazy.
fun. It's fun in games, but what are you really gonna do after this? It's like,
But
no,
it's
this is what I'm doing.
our people, our people is different. But look, I'll be honest, my mum and dad heavily supported me and
That's
pushed me
amazing.
and challenged me. My mum and dad is not cut from the regular cloth. No, no. I didn't have all the other say things in life that that you look. No one got it perfect, but I love to have had
Mm.
certain other things and opportunities and maybe more financial opportunity behind me when I was a kid to have done other
Yeah.
things and tried other things. But the one thing that I had that you cannot buy though is support. You
Yeah.
can't. That's you can have all the other things and then not have the support, and then you've got no one to push you in the right direction and
Yeah.
keep you going. And because sport, well, life, it's about failure, learning, building, moving forward, and you got to keep doing that.
100%.
You got to keep doing that, and you got to keep doing that until you're king of the hill, and then you got to go find another hill maybe, because that's life.
Yeah. It
You
really
get
is.
bored. You could get
So
bored of doing something.
you can, or you get bored, or, like you said, life things happen, and then you're like, what am I doing this for? You start questioning things. We
Yeah,
all have
yeah.
that. But support system is important. That's good that you have that because especially in our Punjabi community, it's very hard to find that. So was your dad into pool as well? Or I know
Yeah,
I read that
yeah.
he was super multi-talented. He didn't get the support, right, from his
No,
parents, right? Because they were
no.
really traditional.
Yeah. Well, look, my dad, he talks and sounds like me. He's a proper Cockney Londoner. Like but once you get off the phone and he shows up, there's a Sardar standing in front of you. Some people are like, "What? Where's Bob?" But
Yeah,
that's his English. That's his English name.
of course, of course.
Amarjeet
I'm.
is his actual name, but like but
What's
they're
your
not.
real name? Like Rajinder?
No, no. My actual name is Raj.
Oh,
So
okay,
that
that's not bad.
means, yeah, it's cool. So I'm not far off, where I'm supposed to be. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll be honest. My dad kind of almost lived his dreams through me in a way.
Got it.
I can see that. I can see that. But
Yeah.
but that's not fair either because these are still my dreams.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Would he sometimes like push you too much, you think? Like you'd be like, "No, dad, I don't want to do that." Or did you feel like he would work you extra? Because that's also in our blood to be like, no, you can do more.
No, no, no. Listen, they expect greatness from me. They do.
Hmm.
They do, because they understand that I have a talent that most people don't have.
That's true.
And but at the same time, they'll humble me and let me know that that's God given. So
Hmm.
even though it's yours now, it's not going to be yours forever. And you got to pass it on to. I do have a responsibility. Look, I'm the only Indian to ever walk this planet to win a world title in my sport. You
I
know,
know, exactly.
imagine I did what I did in my sport in like boxing. It'd be, I'd be like Canelo walking down the road or somebody. It'd be
Yeah.
because it'd be on that level. But my sport is not as big as some of these other sports, like basketball, boxing, these tennis is big, big, big sports. And
But the thing they don't understand is it's because it's not as popular. Not, I don't say popular, but with our people, like it's like it has to be something that's just physical. They don't. It's not because it's mind. It's like, oh,
yeah,
it's, you know what I mean. It's just our people. It's like they don't take it that as seriously. I feel like, you know what I mean.
you're right.
And
You're right. You're
but
right.
it is like I've tried to play the game. I'm literally there trying to calculate, and I'm like, you know what, guys, I'll be your cheerleader.
Well, listen, we need you. When we shoot our event in Toronto, please,
Mhm.
well, if you're available and you're not flying somewhere, or you want to go back to Toronto, see your family or whatever,
Of
uh,
course.
please come and join us. And listen, you're more than welcome to even like have a little. Not, we might even let you open the ceremony for us or something.
Oh, that's so sweet. I would love to do that. I really would. I like when I researched your stuff, like what I really wanted to like interview and talk to you is because I want to highlight you because it's so easy to highlight an artist, a singer, not taking away from them, but what you
Thank you.
do is very different and it should be highlighted. You know what I mean? Like not every like you said, not everyone can do it and it's one of our own doing it. You know what I mean? I wish I knew about you before so I could have been like, woo, Raj, you know? But now I
You're too
do know.
kind.
No,
You're,
it's
you're, you're
no, it's
too kind. But I can also tell you, you're very important because look, you've got a great reach and a great platform, and you're doing so good. Look, you're doing good things because it's not only like you're putting me out. Look, I'm just an instrument, but that instrument represents hope. I give hope to other kids that
yes,
you can go and be a professional golfer, and I don't just mean make up the numbers. I mean actually be a champion.
yeah,
And listen, I feel in my heart, if I played whichever sport I wanted to play as a kid, I'd have been a world champion in any one of those sports. I was on every team in my school. I won tennis tournaments. I'm self-taught in every sport,
Oh, you
even
won
playing
tennis
football.
tournaments too?
I won tennis tournaments. I've never had
What?
a coaching lesson in my life. Imagine
Wow.
that. So, like natural ability, there's no sport I can't play. I don't know. God gave it to me in my
Are
hands
you
and my
are you
feet.
from the African American descent? No,
I've been mistaken from there before, but yeah, I don't know. I've just got natural ability for. It's almost like I have a sixth sense with
Hmm.
sports, especially ball sports. Any sport that involves a ball that spins and moves,
Yeah,
I read it like before it happens. I can't explain it to
your
you.
mind works in a different way. Like you articulate
I
it
believe
different.
so. I believe so.
That's
I,
awesome. When you were younger, like when did you know? Like, because at the age of six, at the age of six, I was probably eating like glue or something while you were over there playing pool. I know that you said your dad, he saw that, you know, you had something and he took you to a bigger pool table and you said,
yeah.
but I thought was the cutest thing ever that you had to get on top of a box to play on a 12-foot table. That is amazing. But like I said, like at that age, usually a 7-year-old's brain doesn't work in that way. You know what I mean? If you can, you know, go back and trace, like, did you know at that point you're like, I'm the shit?
Yeah. I did. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I wish I could find it now. I'd have to ask my mother where she's got it. But there's a book when I was a kid, and they asked, and I was that age. I was 6 years old, and they'd asked like, "What do you want to be when you're older?"
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "I want to be a professional snooker player."
Oh,
And
wow.
going back to your question,
I'm like, I
snooker.
want to be a superhero. That's probably some just bullshit that I fucking said.
I mean, listen. I'll be honest with you. I was still a kid. I love my Batman and my Superman and all
Yeah,
of that and
yeah.
everything. But I knew then and there at that age there because I'm watching these guys on TV playing and I'm thinking, I want that life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not supposed to be like all these other kids. Why am I supposed to be regular when I don't feel regular? I feel like I've got some sort of talent and some heart. I've got to go do something. And I was always outspoken as a kid. You know, I was shy as well, but when it was time to speak my piece, I said, well, all right, then I'm gonna put my bit out there. And pool was beautiful because I could do it without saying anything. I could paint my picture on that table. You know, and
quietly.
Yeah. and that was great for me because you know, I was just like, they can't deny me, you know, they can't. And I'm so happy pool is an individual sport because, you know, I don't want to go too far into it. I don't dwell on nothing negative, but it's, you know, I had a lot of obstacles and battles to overcome because I was different. Let's put it that way. You know,
would you say it's because of the color of your skin, maybe?
Yeah, I did feel like, there was some of that going on because, but I used it differently. I understood it and I said, well, okay, you just let me know you're all scared. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. So next time I walk in the building,
you fed off of it.
Yeah. So next time I walk in the building, make sure none of you make eye contact with me because you get on the hit list. You get what I'm saying?
Is that where you got the Hitman from?
That's right. I used to make it a job to dismantle. So I put so many of these cats in retirement. It was a joke. It was a joke because they pressed the wrong button. They pressed the wrong button. You know.
Well, for you, the right button.
For me, I needed that though. You know, I fed off of that because at the end of the day, I'm a wolf. I'm a shark. I'm gonna, if I smell blood, I have to come. I have to come because that's, you know, we're in our sport. We're in our element.
Exactly.
I can't be nice. If I got to beat you 10-0, I'm going to beat you 10-0. I don't want to see you playing this game. Go get a job somewhere.
You're not in the bracket. Bye.
Yeah, you're not off that, you know, as Pun would say, you ain't even in me class. That was the truth.
You go.
That's how I felt.
I love that.
And they
you're getting me riled up. I'm like, yes, exactly. Because that's how I work. When somebody tells me something, I'm like, I know exactly the feeling you're saying. Like when people say negative things to me, I'm like, go ahead. It just makes me more, you know, it riles me up.
That means you've got like myself, you've got a fire in your belly, a passion, a desire. You're a winner. That means you're a born winner. And I know that if you feel that way in your heart, you know, the world needs more people like you. I don't want to say more people like me. I'd say more people like you.
Oh, you're too kind.
You know, because you gotta have that. You can't let people put you in a box and tell you how to live your life. That's not right.
No, not at all. And that's what I fight for every day. Like, and again, why I commend you as well, because you weren't in a box. Like you said, even when you were playing and you're the best at what you were, people will still trying to make you feel like you were not, you know? And that's just how it's always going to be. How did you meet Steve Knight? Yeah, Steve Knight. So you, on this world full of sharks, how did he, like, what role did he play? Like, was he like, he saw the fire in you?
Yeah, I first of all, rest in peace. You know, to Steve Knight. Good guy. You know, we had to lay him to rest last year, but he's listen. That guy there, he gave me a lot. You know, I owe him big time. I do. Truth is, I was destined to meet him. I was a little teenage kid, about 16 years old. I'm still in school. I got all this talent, and I go to, and he was the only guy that had just won. He was the only guy to win a world title from the UK.
Yeah, he was the best UK player, you guys, if you didn't know.
By far, by a long way. And then he saw me play, and at that time, I only had a house cue off the wall because I just stopped playing snooker and transitioned to pool.
Yeah.
And he saw me play, and would you believe it? This is the #1 player in the country, the best player in the country by a long way, comes up to me and stops me and goes, listen, I didn't realize this, but I've just seen you play. I know who's going to take my crown.
Oh, wow.
But I'm a kid. I don't understand what he's saying. And I'm thinking, like, is he trying to gas me up? Is he trying to hype me up too much or something? Like, what's up with this guy? And he goes, when you find your actual stroke on this pool table, he goes, none of us have got a shot with you.
Oh, wow.
And I said, I said, well, I'm gonna keep that compliment. But
Yeah.
I didn't understand it at the time.
Yeah.
I knew there's something to it, but I thought maybe he's just really, he's gone a bit far fetched with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're like, he's just a great guy.
I just think he's just a really, really nice guy. And
Yeah.
then he said, he goes, Raj, why don't you spend some time with me? Come to Victoria Pool Shack in London, which is a nice part of London. I'm more at that time from the ghetto part of London. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it's only a 20-minute drive. It's only a 15, 20-minute drive, depending on traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So I drive in every single night. Listen, I put my hours in. I'd literally eat dinner at home, have my roti and stuff.
Yeah.
Head down to the pool room. Maybe get there for about 9ish. The earliest I ever came home in my life was like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. There were certain times I came home at 5, 6 a.m. and like 8 a.m. just playing pool, gambling all night, putting my work in, putting my graft in. And Steve, I remember he goes, you ain't got a pool cue. And he was sponsored by a company that, funny enough, later on in life ended up endorsing me. And I had nearly a 15-year contract with them, funny enough. At that time, Steve was top dog with them, and what he did was he gave me a pool cue. And I didn't have a pool cue. And I've still got this pool cue, by the way. I ended up winning a world title with that pool cue. I put it away after that. I undid it. I put it in a case. I said, that belongs in storage now.
Yeah.
That chapter's done. The chapter's done with that cue. I need something different. Now, that cue there, I think at the time was something like £1,200 to buy. So with the exchange rate at the time, nearly $2,000 or something. Gorgeous cue, absolutely beautiful. The inlays and the woodwork and the ivory work in there and stuff, absolutely gorgeous, right? So predated ivory. I better state that predated ivory.
Okay, I have no idea what that is, guys, but whoever knows, predated ivory.
It's not, it's the right way. But that cue there, would you believe it? He just gave it to me and said, just give me the money whenever.
Wow.
If
ever he added that on there. Okay.
I said, no, Steve. I said, I can't. I said, it's very expensive. I'm a 16-year-old kid. I ain't got as you would say, I ain't got 2 quarters to rub together.
Yeah.
So it was like, I was like, well, I'm still in school. I said, well, Steve, I don't know how to pay you. He goes, don't worry. He goes, there'll be a time. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Listen, he literally gave me that cue. The day he gave me that cue, that night I won a tournament. That night there was a little handicap event in the pool club, and I've got to give everybody a handicap start. I ended up winning like 300-400 that night. I gave him that. I was like, look, I'm gonna put something on it, and I'm a little kid running around.
Yeah. You're like, woo.
But that guy gave me not only the tools in my hand to beat these guys, he gave me the tools up here. I had a lot of drive, a lot of direction, a lot of talent, but I lacked the focus.
Yeah.
I lacked concentration. I lacked certain elements to bring it all together. And he gave me that. He gave me a tempo I could run with, a beat I could run with for the rest of my days. And listen,
would you say do you think he passed it down to you? You feel like his legacy? Would you say that?
Yeah. Listen, this is the truth. When I play, he still plays.
Okay. Yeah.
Still.
Well, rest in peace to him. He's watching you. He saw it in you. I feel like he did. He felt it. For him to come up to you.
I mean, listen, people like that, they don't. I'll be honest with you, they don't come around. Yeah. They're sent.
100%. 100%. Yeah. No, definitely.
I might have ended up somewhere else, to be honest, if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, God bless him. That was, I was reading up about him, and I was like, when he came up to you, no one just does that, to anyone. So definitely God sent, I feel like.
He what I loved about him, he would help anyone. This guy would even help people that wish so bad for him.
Oh,
he would help them. He would help. I used to laugh with him. I used to say, you know what, Steve? you're more Sikh than somebody else that is born within, because you live by the code, you know.
Yeah, our people just say they live by the code and they don't.
Or they look the part or something, but then that's where it ends. This
Yeah.
guy didn't know anything about Sikhism or anything, but let me tell you, was he done a lot of seva, he done a lot of help, done, you know, all I ever saw him do was help people. Sadly, he couldn't really help himself after a certain point in life, but he was still helping other people.
Yeah, that was just in his heart. You know what I mean?
He's missed. I miss him.
I know. I can tell. I'm like, I hope I didn't hit an emotional spot.
No, listen. It's always going to happen. You know.
Yeah, because
it's always going to happen. He was a brother. He was a brother to me.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Sorry. I'm like my time. I have like a little timer here. I'm like, hold on, where are we at? It's like making me nervous. Okay, we're good. So I know I was also reading. So you wanted to represent India as well. I haven't really ever heard a pool tournament and stuff being in India. So I know you've played like in Vegas and Europe. You were the youngest freaking champion at 23 of, you know, the pool game. So I see that you wanted to represent India. How did that go about? Like, was there even a competition? Because unfortunately, like, all I ever know India does is play cricket. No offense to India, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I really want our people to do some, you know, make some waves. So how was that?
Well, that's why they look, I was born in London. I am a dual citizen of, I'm a citizen, of India and the UK. But the reason why I went over there, we do, some champions came about after me that could still uplift this land over here. Yeah. I'm trying to give hope back to my people over there, back home. You know, there's some of the brown faces that, look, you got yourself a world-class champ in a sport here. Yeah. It's not only about, look, can you follow our sport and everything else? That's cool too. You could do that, and we'll have some future champions come from our motherland. But more than anything, it's to get those little kids to think outside the box and think, okay, well, hold on a minute. I like playing tennis. Maybe I can be a Wimbledon champion. If Raj can go and be a pool champion, why can't I go and be a tennis champ or a golf champ or a Formula One? Okay, it might be hard to get into these clubs and things because, yes, you need some money to get involved. But there is a portion of India that is capable of joining these clubs and becoming champions themselves, girls and boys. There's plenty of them. But at the same time, there's other sports where you can come from the ground up, like football. A lot of cricketers, a lot of cricket champs and football champs come from absolutely nothing. Boxing is a beautiful sport. Yeah, you know,
definitely hard too.
A beautiful sport. I used to box when I was a kid a little bit. So
what haven't you done? Did you play soccer or football too?
Very good. I was a striker.
There's a ball.
Yeah, any ball sport, but even with my hands, I was slick because I understand timing. Timing is everything.
It really is. Yeah, you can't just kick the ball when there's 10 people there, or you know what I mean? Like, it's all about timing.
Everything. I mean, everything I do in life. Can I be honest with you? There's nothing I don't do in life that I don't do on pure instinct. I'm not trained at all in anything. Like, literally, I drive a car. I don't want to sound bad, but I'm a good driver, right? You know, I drive a performance vehicle. Yeah. But I drive on instinct, pure feel. And
like if the cops are there or something, you're like, you know what? I don't think there's cops in this area, like that way.
No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I was like, okay. No, you're like really that. Living on the edge there.
No, that's taking it too far now. You know?
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to be doing that. But in the sense of, let's just say I'm in an area. Let's just say I'm around a racetrack. Let's just say that. Okay. And you know, so I'm driving. I want to slide the back of the car out and cut right in and go through the corner correct and all that. I don't have a set formula, whereas some people will actually make a set formula for it. I just know how it's supposed to feel when it's done right.
I get it. Okay.
So it's
natural to you, kind of.
Yes. And I think that's why I probably enjoyed playing pool all these years, because I'll be honest, a lot of these guys that are my age are fully burnt out. They look 10, 15 years older than me. They're
Definitely. You look really young. You look really good, actually. To be honest with you, you look younger than your pictures that I've seen right now. You've aged
thank you.
gracefully.
Well, I changed my diet and living style recently, so
You
I
look
think that,
skinny too. Like not skinny, but you look fit.
yeah.
Not yeah.
Well, I tell you what I did do. I became a vegetarian a little over 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and that just I just felt so much better doing that, and I eat better now, a lot cleaner. I'm almost vegan. I cheat a little bit with a bit of
Almost
cheese in
be.
my food. Yeah, like the
I
cheese
call myself
bicycle.
a pescatarian.
Okay, that's not
Like
bad.
yeah,
Good
so
step.
I'm trying not to eat meat, and I've lost a lot of weight because I don't eat meat anymore. It's weird,
How do you
and
feel? How
I
do you
feel
feel?
lighter, like
Yeah,
lighter, and I realize
definitely.
that meat doesn't really. It's all about the flavor. Like if you notice, meat doesn't really have flavor.
No, nothing.
No, and now that you actually like eat other things, you're like, I just have to make this tasty.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And I tell you, the other one I did, I haven't had a sip of alcohol in over a year. So,
Oh, I'd be lying to you if I said that. But that's great though. That's awesome. I try, you know what I've done? I try to make it only special occasions. Like when this whole COVID
okay.
thing started, I was just drinking for no reason.
That's
Yeah.
everybody, I think. That's everyone.
Yeah, I would just wake up. I'm like, I'm on vacation, and then 1 month later, I have a gut. I'm like, okay, this is good.
Stop.
We
This has
need to
got to
cut.
stop.
Yes, but no, you look great. You look. I feel
Thank
like
you.
you look. I'm not. I mean, you're 21 in my eyes. We don't got to tell anybody.
Oh, listen, you got to fix your screen. There's something wrong with it. Listen, I'm nearly 40. I'm pushing 40.
No
Imagine that.
way.
I'm pushing 40.
You have a filter on your thing, don't you?
I'm on the Zoom. I don't even know how to do it, to be honest. But
Oh, but no, I don't know if there's a filter on Zoom. I don't think so. If there was, I should have been using it.
no, I'm just well, listen, I'm gonna be 39 this September, but listen, here's the thing, right? I'm lucky. I've got certain medicine that helps me, like playing pool. That's a bit of medicine. That's my little getaway, my place to be me,
Yeah.
and I can you gotta feed the child inside sometimes.